So this is a quick install video of the JQ magnetic paddles. These are going to be the 3RS style for a GT4 or GT3 or Spider, any of those. As you can see, the mechanisms look pretty sturdy themselves. Lots of adjustment too, which is good. The packaging looks really good quality, as does the actual product itself. These are the slim carbon blades. I probably won't be using these, but yeah, let's go through all the options. Right, so here's the paddle options. These are the large carbon blades, the smaller carbon blades, or the 3RS style. I think I'm going to go with these. A little bit of splashy yellow to match the interior, as you can see. The seat belts and all the stitching. Size-wise, I'll show you how they look. So they're in about the same location. So they'll stick out like that, which looks much better, doesn't it, rather than the little small things behind. I'm going to be careful to, you can adjust these, but I'm going to be careful to make sure they're in the same location. So I'll do a measurement here and how far out they stick this way, just to make sure they're about the right size, about the right place, so you don't start getting in the way. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to go with these because I say it matches all the yellow. See how the other ones will look though. I mean, I'm not going to use those, it's too small, but I'll put them in place so we can see. And then the larger ones, let's have a look. The smaller ones first would be about, to be fair, about the same size as the original ones. So if you don't want them to be any bigger, they're actually worthwhile to have. Large ones I feel is going to be a bit too big for me, and I don't really want carbon because mine's got all the pushed alloy inside. So I like the not much carbon, so I don't want to just put a random splash of carbon in. Let's look at the size. Look pretty good actually too. Bit bigger. Not the same size as the 3RS ones. Bit bigger. So yeah, there we go. They're all laid out next to each other for size. So I'll show you now how to get the wheel out. And how to install them. So before I install, I just want to take some measurements off this. Now I've got some shady old rulers, you can see bits of shit all over it, excuse that, but needs must. So I'm going to line up against the paddle here and straight and get a good idea. So it's sticking out by about, what is on top, 45, 50 mil probably. So I want that to be about 50 mil sunk in if we want OEM positioning, and stick through like that way. Again, I'm going to lean it up against there, try and look dead on the side. 20 mil. So it gives me an idea anyway, rough idea. Right, so to get a wheel off, basically to pop the airbag out first. To do this, you just locate these two holes, one either side, and pop like a Torx piece of a punch in. It'll be a bit fiddly fettling around trying to find the spring clip, but basically that's what we're looking for. Two clips either side, which then springs, and you can lift the airbag out like so. So, super straightforward. Yellow plug, brown plug, unplug them. Take the airbag module out. As you can see on these plugs, dead simple. You just get a small flathead screwdriver under where my nail is there. Flick them up, the orange tabs, don't fully remove them, and then the plugs come out. Dead straightforward, job's a good one. So next job is the wheel will have to come off on this car to do it. So we just need to undo that, make sure it's all central so your steering wheel's in the right place, and we can crack on. So next part is M12 multi-spline, like so. So we're going to line it up, get it in, and then undo it. I'm going to do it with one hand. Yeah, there we go. Let's get that out. Excuse the shaky camera. One-handed makes it enjoyable. So steering wheel's off now, dead easy. There's a plug in the middle there you need to undo so the steering wheel can lift off. Nice and easy, done. See, here's the standard paddle mechanism. So you see, it needs a few screws, these three, looks like, to take this cover off. So let's get that done now. So these ones are T25. Now that cover shut. There we go. So you can see the standard paddle mechanism. Two more bolts to undo them. I presume there's plugs the other side. Yeah, so let's undo these first, make our life a bit easier. Just a little, we see, it's a little press clip. Pull them out, so push in and pull out, and that's disconnected. Same with this one. Press in and pull out, disconnected. So they're both disconnected now. Now both that way again. And again, T20 torque piece again. You can actually do that by hand, it's not even that tight. So I'm going to undo the bolt to one first and do this side just so I can make sure I'm happy with the placement. I think all the same T-bit, but let's just check anyway. Wiggle. There you go. That is the standard paddle shifter. So now let's go and get the JQ Works magnetic ones and see how they line up. So hopefully it should be pretty obvious anyway, but when you get this, it does have a plus and a minus on it, so you know which one's going where. So let's just test fit that now. Right, so magnetic paddles in, put a bolt in now. You can see there's two locating pins here, which is pretty obvious. However, there are some down, so you look inside here. Oh, camera's being stupid. There, so these two places here, I haven't got my finger in line. Oh, doing a great job there, sorry. So under here, there where my finger is, there's two paddles that, or two locating pins that go in. So just be mindful that they're in the right place. And the beauty of these paddles, the magnetic ones, is, as you can probably see, you can adjust the reach and how far the paddle is in or out. So it gives you a lot more flexibility, which is good. However, I don't want it to sit in the wrong place. Looks about right there actually, but let's get the paddle on to make a better idea. Right, so here's one paddle, magnetic side on. And here's the original Porsche paddle. The difference in how it feels when you press it is crazy. Obviously a bit more noisy, but it feels absolutely fantastic. So positioning wise is a good one I was going to bring up. So I took some measurements to make it obvious, and I've checked them, they look about right. So that's how it looks now. Just press it so you can see it. And that's how the factory Porsche one is. So I've took the measurements, and interestingly, to get it in exactly the right where it comes across there, feel what looks exactly about where I want it, the paddle is all the way far as up that way as it will go, and then tighten into place. And then this, as say, can slide the scope of how far close it is to the wheel, and literally just side of it. Footage isn't very good. Let me turn it around so you can see it better. There you go. So you can just adjust this screw here and move it in or out, and that is about right now. That's pretty much exactly where the OEM one is. So both fitted, as I said. I'm going for these. I did try the carbon ones on, but honestly, not a fan for my car, and at least anyway. I'll just show you what I mean. So these feel a little bit thinner. They're still solid, but they're just a bit more flimsy. But yeah, they still look good. Which would you pick? Carbon or them? Both cool. Could always change in the future anyway. But yeah, so they feel absolutely mega. So let's get it back together. Both on and tight. Obviously don't super tighten these, only very small screws, so they don't need to be overly tight, as that doesn't either as well. And mostly lift these up so they can't slide back on yourself. Right, so back these to go on now, dead straightforward. There we go, make sure your clearances are good and stuff, it's all the way home. Brilliant, let's get the screws in. So, steering wheel is in place, all plugs are in. Just something to show, see if we can get it in. There we go. You have to make sure it's lined up with that dot, so it's straight. So that is actually pretty much perfect. Obviously it's hard to tell because on some angle you go a bit right, it looks off. You go a bit left, it looks off. But obviously I'm looking at it dead on here and it's perfect. So just make sure that's lined up and straight. And then that's it really. Wheel can go back on and get the bolt in again. So as you can see, both plugs clicked back in. Center plug in. Obviously paddles all plugged in. So now you can just pop that straight into place and push it. And it'll click straight in. Clickety click.